Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. Thank you for checking the video out today. We have more PlayStation news, rumors, and leaks to go over and cover. So before we dive into these topics, do me a big favor. If you do end up enjoying this video or finding it informative, be sure to leave it a like. It really does help the videos out more than you know. And if you are new here to the channel, please consider hitting that subscribe button as well. The first topic we're diving into is, in my opinion, very good news for the PS5. And I think a lot of not only PS5 owners, but mainly people who are still on the hunt for PS5 are going to be very happy about this. The reason why I say I think PS5 owners are going to be happy about this as well is because, as we know, the more PS5s that are sold, the more overall support it's going to get, and the more encouraged developers are going to feel to leave behind the PS4 and just kind of focus on current gen game development, which is something that we're all hoping to see. Heading over to PlayStation Universe, they have an article that says Sony is looking to increase PS5 supply in time for holiday 2022. Speaking during its latest earnings call, Sony Interactive Entertainment revealed plans to bolster PS5 supply chains in time for the holiday season. The news comes after the format holder revealed that the PS5 had shipped 21.7 million units worldwide. They said, taking this situation into account, we intend to take action to increase user engagement in the second half of the fiscal year, during which major titles, including first-party software, are scheduled to be released, primarily by increasing the supply of PS5 hardware and promoting the new PlayStation Plus service. Sony added that it is still on track for shipping 18 million units during this financial year, and noted that the supply issue is looking more positive after Shanghai lifted its recent lockdown. Now, the second part of what I just read is really the part I want to focus on mainly because I think it's the most important. Sony is making it clear to their investors that they are not altering the amount of PS5s that they are planning to ship and sell, that being 18 million. This is great news because it means things are actually on track. I know that some people are looking at this recent financial report and thinking that it's kind of doom and gloom for Sony. That's not necessarily true. If anything, it just reveals that they are kind of ramping up for the remainder of 2022 and this holiday season going into 2023. I mean, let's face it, the holiday season is way more important to not just Sony, but the entire industry than the summertime is. So this is great. It means that they are increasing that supply. They're getting as much as they thought they were going to get, which is a 50% increase overall, which is massive compared to last year. And as they say here, Shanghai did lift its lockdown, and that is probably going to be the ultimate difference maker here because, you know, that's where these PS5s are coming from. So this is very good news for anybody who is hoping to get their hands on a PS5 this holiday season. If there's one thing that I have noticed with the PS5 community, which I think is actually awesome, is that a lot of people who were fortunate enough to secure a PS5, whether it be at launch or any time in between up until this point, they're always rooting for people and trying to help people who are trying to get a PS5, whether it's for themselves or a family member or a friend. And I think it's really cool to kind of see the community come together in that way. And so it always makes me happy to be able to report on this and give you guys this good news, because all we've been hearing since the launch of these current generation consoles is just how much of a struggle it is to secure them. The supply chain issues, right? The shortage. It's kind of tired at this point, and I think people are just ready for it to not be a thing anymore. And so we are getting closer and closer to that point. So there you go. We're going to move on to the next topic, though, which continues to talk about the PS5, but in a different way here, where apparently Sony will not comment on the possibility of a PS5 price increase, which this is kind of surprising to be reading about. Again, from PlayStation Universe, they say Sony Interactive Entertainment is not commenting on the prospect of increasing the PS5 price due to economic pressure. The format holder increased the price in Japan of a number of consumer electronics, including Blu-ray players, cameras, home theater systems, headphones, and speakers. These price hikes were reportedly a reaction to the ongoing semiconductor shortage and other factors that have seen an increase in the price of raw materials and manufacturing. Speaking earlier Today, during its latest financial report, Hiroki Totoki, Sony's executive deputy president and chief financial officer, was asked about a possible PS5 price increase, and this is exactly what he had to say. About a potential price increase for the PS5, at this point in time, there is nothing specific I can share with you about prices. And so, yeah, it's not necessarily bad news. I have seen some people reacting to this in a very negative way. I've even seen some people basically making it sound like Sony confirmed they're increasing the price of the PS5. That's not what this is. But we do also have to acknowledge that, Sony is not coming out and flat out saying we are not increasing the price of the PS5 or we have no plans to do so. It seems like they're kind of leaving it up in the air where it could be a possibility. And I have a feeling that if Sony were to do this, I don't know that it would be in every region, right? I don't know that it would just be an across the board price increase. That just wouldn't be good for Sony, but I don't know. There's just many different ways they could go about this, but I think at the end of the day, everybody is hoping that Sony is not going to increase the price of the PS5. I think that would just be a pretty terrible thing, right? Especially when you consider that Sony doesn't really make the bulk of their money on hardware sales. They make the bulk of their money on game sales and, microtransactions from people who are playing on the console. I mean, it was always common practice for these consoles to be sold at a loss and then to make that money back later on. Sony may just have to kind of embrace that with the PS5 a little bit, and hopefully that's what they choose to do. But you can let me know your thoughts about that. We're moving on to the next topic, which I think is a very interesting one. It's not something that I was expecting to be talking about, but I have an article here from VGC where the title reads, Xbox boss Phil Spencer's most anticipated game is God of War Ragnarok. So it says here, Microsoft's head of gaming has said that the game he's most looking forward to playing is Sony's God of War Ragnarok. Spencer revealed his most anticipated game in response to one of several questions posted by the official Xbox Twitter account. The tweet asked respondents to name their first game, last game, favorite game, and the game they want to play next, among others. Spencer selected God of War Ragnarok, the upcoming PlayStation sequel, which was recently given a November 9th, 2022 release date as the game he's most eager to play next. And so, yeah, I have to say that I wasn't expecting to be talking about this, but I actually think this is really cool. The reason why I'm highlighting this is because I think this is a huge compliment to not only God of War Ragnarok, but to Sony Santa Monica and all of PlayStation Studios. We know Phil Spencer is a gamer, and I think we all respect that about him, right? Where, we don't really hear Jim Ryan coming out and talking about the games he's playing. I feel like most of us don't even believe that Jim Ryan is a gamer of any kind. He might be, but he's not talkative, right? He doesn't really talk about those things. And so it is always cool to kind of see Phil talking about these things so openly and so candidly. And I think it's just, if you're PlayStation, if you're Sony Santa Monica, you really can't ask for a bigger compliment than your main competitor, right? The head of Xbox, the head of Microsoft Gaming, saying that the game he's most excited and looking forward to playing next is yours, God of War Ragnarok, and you're their competition. I think that's a huge compliment. And I just want to point out, assuming that Phil Spencer isn't getting a free copy of this game, right? It seems that Phil doesn't really have any problem paying $70 for a game like God of War Ragnarok either. I just feel like that's worth mentioning because, you do see a lot of people kind of talk about how whether or not this game is going to be worth it. This is the head of Xbox here. All right. This isn't just some random person saying that they don't mind paying for this game and playing it. This is the head of Microsoft Gaming. So just something to think about. I think that really does kind of speak to the quality that's on offer here with some of, or if not all of, PlayStation's titles. But we are going to move on to the next topic, which is an apparent leak for the next Tomb Raider game. Reading from PlayStation Lifestyle once again, it says info on the new Tomb Raider game has been reportedly leaked from a voice acting casting script under the codename Project Jawbreaker. The next Tomb Raider by Crystal Dynamics will apparently feature a more experienced Lara Croft as she works with a group of fellow raiders in an attempt to protect artifacts and save the world from a mysterious cataclysm. As reported by Colin Moriarty, an insider leaked to him a script that actors have been using to try out for the role of Lara Croft. Sharing the news on his Sacred Symbols podcast, he notes that Crystal Dynamics is allegedly casting for an authentic British voice actor. The developer seems to be looking for someone who can do motion capture work as well, considering that the studio also wants the voice actor to be around 30 years old, 5'6", and athletic. Project Jawbreaker will allegedly continue the realism that the modern Tomb Raider series is known for, but will also have fantasy elements. As for the story, Croft struggles with loneliness despite her being a strong independent adventurer and decides to work with other raiders who look up to her. Due to media and tabloids reporting on Lara's adventures throughout the world, she has inspired other people to do what she does despite how dangerous it is. That said, she may be working with others for more practical reasons, as there's a mysterious cataclysm she cannot face alone. And it concludes by saying overall the story will have Lara Croft's familial issues from prior games be left behind. So I wanted to report on this and let everybody know about it because I think it actually sounds promising, right? To me, this sounds like a complete reboot of Tomb Raider, and I am looking forward to kind of seeing what a current gen only Tomb Raider game can look like, what it can play like, and I've always enjoyed the Tomb Raider games, so this is just one of those titles where I'm going to be keeping an eye on it. I'm going to be interested in getting official information because this is all leaked, and it does sound like it's still pretty early in development, so it may be some time before we hear anything official or see anything official, but I'm going to be interested to hear what you guys have to say about this. If you are a fan of Tomb Raider, what do you think about the setup for the next game? That does it for the video though, guys. I hope you did enjoy it. I hope you did find it informative. Again, if you did, be sure to leave it a like, subscribe to the channel if you're new, hit the bell notification icon, and feel free to share this video out on top of all that. But until next time, guys, take care.